ride. ZFR, the pulse, the pulse, the sound. Nothing that'll cause it round by round. Highs and lows, the thrill, the sting, the viewers return. Let the madness begin. Tight chicane, the air is thin. Rain falls hard, who's gonna spin? Tensions rise, the clock ticks fast. Glory's fleeting, it never lasts. Front wings flying, broken pride, but hope still roars, you can't hide. ZFR, the pulse, the sound. Nothing that'll cause it round by round. Highs and lows, the thrill, the sting, the viewers return. Let the madness begin. Wheel to wheel, a fight for life. A champion crowned, the season's knife. Broadcast the roar, the passion, the pain. An NFR is in the storm and the rain. ZFR, the pulse, the sound. Nothing that'll cause it round by round. Highs and lows, the thrill, the sting, the viewers return. Let the madness begin.
Tuesday night, 8 p.m. We go SAFRL the show. Engines roar, lights will glow. Feel the rush, feel the flow. Every lap, a twist, a turn. Speeding fast, rubber burn. Crowds cheer, hearts churn. Victory, what we yearn. SAFRL, we ride. Highs and lows side by side. Drama here can't hide. Victory, what we earn. SAFRL, we ride. Highs and lows side by side. Drama here can't hide. Racing fast in full stride. Crashes, spins on the track. Up and down, who's coming back? Champions rise, no slack. Push to the front, never back. Pit stops, precision, gold. Strategy, daring, bold. Who will lead, not foretold. Speed and skill, tales unfold. SAFRL, we ride. Highs and lows side by side. Drama here can't hide. Racing fast in full stride.
Max the Maverick.
He rolls to the grid, eye sharp as a blade. A storm in the cockpit, never afraid. Teammates tremble, they can't keep pace. Max takes the wheel, owns every race. From car to crown, he carved his way. A predator born to slay the day. The records fall, the doubters fade. A legend's forged, the price is paid. Max Verstappen, king of the fight. Burning the track in the dead of night. Outruns the pack, leaves them behind. Fastest heart with a mastermind. Not the quickest car, but he still shines. Bends the rules, rewrites the lines. Max Verstappen, hear the roar. The champ who always begs for more.
tried their best, but Max just laughs, aces the test. He dances through corners, a devil's art, tears up the field, rips it apart. Red Bull's wings, they used to soar, now it's Max who evens the score. The car's not prime, the rivals grin, but he still finds a way to win. Max Verstappen, king of the fight, burning the track in the dead of night. Outruns the pack, leaves them behind. Fastest heart with a mastermind. Not the quickest car, but he still shines. Bends the rules, rewrites the lines. Max Verstappen, hear the roar. The champ who always begs for more. Monaco streets, Silverstone rain. He turns the chaos into his gain. A lion's soul, a warrior's creed. Speed's his drug, it's all he needs. They build the walls, he breaks them down. Three-time king still wears the crown. Max Verstappen, king of the fight, burning the track in the dead of night. Outruns the pack, leaves them behind. Fastest heart with the mastermind. Not the quickest car, but he still shines. Bends the rules, rewrites the lines. Max Verstappen, hear the roar. The champ who always begs for more. So raise the flag, let the anthem play. Max the Maverick rules the day. Through grit and guile, he's here to stay. A racing god in every way.
Dreams roar, the crowd goes wild. SAFRL under the lights. Tuesday night, a battle begins. Speeding hearts chasing winds. Pit stops are lightning fast. Every second a driver must grasp. Bumps and spins on curves so tight. Fighting for glory beneath the twilight. SAFRL on a Tuesday night. Adrenaline rush and flashing lights. Tears and triumphs on the line. In the race of life at 8 p.m. shine. The checkered flag is waving near. Fans are cheering, can you hear? Highs and lows in every lap. Drawn falls, no time for a nap. Competitors push with all their might, risking it all in the fight. Victory awaits the bold and brave. Legends are born on this stage. SAFRL on a Tuesday night. Adrenaline rush and flashing lights. Tears and triumphs on the line. In the race of life at 8 p.m. shine. Checkered flag is waving near. Fans are cheering, can you hear? Highs and lows in every lap. Drawn falls, no time for a nap. Competitors push with all their might, risking it all in the fight. Victory awaits the bold and brave. Legends are born on the stage. SAFRL on a Tuesday night. Adrenaline rush and flashing lights. Tears and
and screams. She's the guardian of our speed-filled dreams. With skull and flight, an alien on the chase. She's the calm in the storm, our guiding grace. Andre by her side, loyal and strong. Their love's been racing all along. But it's the brotherhood she holds so near. With every lap she makes it clear. Oh, Death Queen, heart of the grid. With every cheer she lifts the lid on fears, on doubt she tears through night. Her voice, our fuel, our fearless light. From cockpit to coach she stands supreme, a true believer in the brotherhood dream. Oh, Death Queen, in shadows and gleam, you are the queen of our sim racing team. Trophies shine, but not like her pride. Watching Skull and Andre glide. She's there in silence, she's there in roar. In every circuit, every lore. From midnight spins to dawn's first light, she's always there holding us tight. No crash too deep, no curve too wide. With her in spirit, we rise, we ride. Oh, Death Queen, heart of the grid. With every cheer she lifts the lid on fears, on doubt she tears through night. Her voice, our fuel, our fearless light. From cockpit to coach she stands supreme, a true believer in the brotherhood dream. Oh, Death Queen, in shadows and gleam, you are the queen of our sim racing team. Just a fan, she's legacy born. Through every F1 storm we wore. Holding the line, fierce and unseen. Forever our monarch, our Death Queen. Whoa, Death Queen, heart of the grid. With every cheer she lifts the lid on fears, on doubt she tears through night. Her voice, our fuel, our fearless light. From cockpit to coach she stands supreme, a true believer in the brotherhood dream. Oh, death, shadows and gleam, you are the queen of our sim racing team. Yeah, oh, Death Queen, you are the queen of our sim racing team. Well, gather round, folks, let me tell you a tale about a driver named Skull, racing fast without fail. He started down low in the back of the pack, but each season he climbed, never looking on back. He got quicker each year, like a rocket on wheels. His lap times were blazing, giving rivals the chills. From midfield to front, he was chasing the crown, a podium contender, making town shout a sound. He was winning some races, nearly topping the charts. Skull's name in the lights, stealing Formula One hearts. With speed like a demon, he was setting the pace. A champ in the making, dominating the race. But hold on now, partner, here's where things go astray. Skull's races start wild, then they crash in a fray. He's got Max Verstappen speed, burning up the track. But George Russell's tears when his car don't come back. Corner smashing walls with a bang, disqualified for cutting. Hear the steward's harsh claim, retiring in the pits, or he's wrecking with flares. Skull's short fuse like Stroll's, yelling loud in despair. His internet's dropping or the game kicks him out. 1 minute he's leading, then he's down with a pout. He's fast as a bullet, but his luck's in the ditch, crashing into rivals, leaving fans in a stitch. He's got speed like Max and them tears like our George, a temper like Lance when his race plans diverge. Skull's heart's in the fight, but his car's in the wall. Yet we know he'll keep
keep pushing, never quitting at all. So here's to old school, with his fire and his fight. He's down but not out, he'll be back in the light. With his speed and his grit, he'll be winning someday. Skull's gonna rise, it'll blaze all the way. He'll blaze all the way.
Chasing dreams in flight. SAFRL thunder roar, spinning wheels forevermore. Engines scream at 8 o'clock, adrenaline like ticking clock. Turns and twists where legends bleed. Every fan needs to believe. In the league of SAFRL we rise, fuel and fire in our eyes. From the lows to the highest highs, it's the thrill that never dies. Pit stops quick, a race of fate. Champions born at heaven's gates. Trackside hearts beat wild and free. Victory for all to see. Rivalries burn tire lights, red and green in the night. Final lap on the moon's gaze, ending in a roaring blaze. Crowd rolls like crashing tide. In SAFRL we take pride. From start to end hero fights, everlasting speed delight. SAFRL, we rise, fuel and fire in our eyes. From the lows to the highest highs, it's the thrill that never dies. In the league of SAFRL we rise, fuel and fire in our eyes. From the lows to the highest highs, it's the thrill that never dies. In the league of SAFRL we rise, fuel and fire in our eyes. From the lows to the highest highs, it's the thrill that never dies. The thrill that never dies. Pit stops quick, a race of fate. Champions born at heaven's gate. Trackside hearts beat wild and free. Victory for all to see. Rivalries burn tire might, red and green in the night. Final lap on the moon's gaze, ending in a roaring blaze. Crowd roars like crashing tide. In SAFRL we take pride. From start to end heroes fight, everlasting speed delight. Delight.
crowned the season's knife. Broadcast the roar, the passion, the pain. An NF artist in the storm and the rain. NFR, the pulse, the sound. Not Fernando calls it round by round. Highs and lows, the thrill, the sting. The viewers return. Let the madness begin.
Tuesday night, 8 p.m. We go SAFRL the show. Engines roar, lights will glow. Feel the rush, feel the flow. Every lap, a twist, a turn. Speeding fast, rubber burn. Crowds cheer, hearts churn. Victory, what we yearn. SAFRL, we ride. Highs and lows side by side. Drama here can't hide. Victory, what we earn. SAFRL, we ride. Highs and lows side by side. Drama here can't hide. Racing fast in full stride. Crashes, spins on the track. Up and down, who's coming back? Champions rise, no slack. Push to the front, never back. Pit stops, precision, gold. Strategy, daring, bold. Who will lead, not foretold. Speed and skill, tales unfold. SAFRL, we ride. Highs and lows side by side. Drama here can't hide. Racing fast in full stride.
Max the Maverick. He rolls to the grid, eye sharp as a blade. A storm in the cockpit, never afraid. Teammates tremble, they can't keep pace. Max takes the wheel, owns every race. From car to crown, he carved his way. A predator born to slay the day. The records fall, the doubters fade. A legend's forged, the price is paid. Max Verstappen, king of the fight. Burning the track in the dead of night. Outruns the pack, leaves them behind. Fastest heart with a mastermind. Not the quickest car, but he still shines. Bends the rules, rewrites the lines. Max Verstappen, hear the roar. The champ who always begs for more.
Are born, they tried their best, but Max just laughs, aces the test. He dances through corners, a devil's art. Tears up the field, rips it apart. Red Bull's wings, they used to soar. Now it's Max who evens
Good evening, everybody, and welcome back. Welcome back to NFR, welcome back to SAFRL on a Tuesday night. It's just gone past 8 p.m. We're running about 5 minutes late. Of course, tonight we're at the Circuit of the Americas. If I'm not mistaken, this is going to be a sprint round. Probably need to look at the calendar again. Is it a sprint? I have no idea. Soon find out. It is indeed a sprint. There we go. Thought it was a sprint. So straight off into one shot volley. Been here before, you know the drill. First time everything looks a little weird. This is one shot quali. Get one opportunity, no outlap to prepare yourself to get a feel for things. Just thrown straight into the final corner. You've got to put together the very best lap that you can, and you got one shot at it, and then that's the end of that. That'll then determine the grid for the sprint race. You can see a lot of guys just dropping out there at the bottom. Sugar Bear, Lebby, Spikes, Warlock as well now. Trying to get to the top of the field there. Here we go. Maori All Black. Currently the driver in P1. That means currently if the checkered flag fell, he would take pole. He's ahead at this stage. That's what that list basically means. Take that timing sheet as the current order. Maori still doing the job for now. Needs to piece together the rest of the lap. He's done well so far. Doesn't seem like anybody's flipping in that order. Everybody seems to be holding steady in that final sector. And there we go. Lap times confirmed. Maori All Black over the line, 32.6. Then Martin, 32.7. Awfully close. And hopefully we'll get the rest of the results after qualifying. There we go, we do. So hopefully, because sometimes in the sprint races they skip this. Maori with pole, then Martin, Skull P3, Pantry Star 4, Panda P5, J-Boy 6, Osman 7, Andre 8. Then we got Top Gun 9, Harsh Cartoon 10, Sugar Bear 11, Warlock 12, Lebby 13, Spikes 14, Musa Essa 15, and then Lamb Royale 16, and Virus going from the back. Those last three cars disqualified. Very odd. In a one-shot quali, of course, you don't encounter any opponents on the circuit. Wouldn't have been a collision. Very strange for three drivers to have the same result. Took a little bit of a pause there to say the same result, because looking at the screen and going, ooh, delightful. Not sure how many of the drivers think it's delightful. Of course, we could just have rain for this sprint race and then the rest of the night, qualifying and feature race, completely dry. Wonder how many drivers did not check the weather. Of course, I think it was a rule implemented last year that in between the sprint race and the feature race you can change your setup. So if you get something wrong first time around, you can modify things for that second race. You get the dual green lights. Everybody gets away for a formation lap. We'll give everybody a first feel of the intermediate tyre. Just bring up that tyre screen. Surely everyone's on the inter. Here we go, everybody on the intermediate. Of course, your track map. An interesting circuit, this one. Designed by Herman Tilke. Said he wanted it to be the track of the world. Why he installed certain elements on this race circuit that are copies or replicas of other race circuits. Yes, is in Sector 1, Maggots and Beckett. Long sweeping right-hander in Sector 3. Is it a right-hander? I think it's a right-hander. Haven't driven this in a while. That's based on the circuit in Turkey. Of course, for some odd reason, never quite figured this out. The final corner. It's the final corner of Kyalami. Same pit entry, same corner. In Kyalami, that speed limit line comes up a lot earlier. Formation lap now coming to an end. Just the one disqualification. That was Skull. You can see him. Naughty sitting on the grid by himself. Not what you want to do is get disqualified on a formation lap of a wet race. Injured tires going to be absolutely useless into turn 1. That's fine if you're at the rear of the field. At the front of the field, you don't want cold tires. There we go, we get our better camera angle. It's going to be a Haas versus a RB into turn 1. Bit of a pause, longer than I thought. Maori All Black, Martin, Skull dropping back one position already. He's actually picked up a position again, up into P3. Martin leads the way. That was the driver who started in P2. Martin down to P2, so those two swapped. Skull lost P3 briefly, but snatched it back. Then we've got Pantry Star and Panda. Those two, I'm going to get them confused. I know it. Then Andre P6, Sugar Bear P7, Top Gun P8, Warlock 9. And as I say that, it changes. Warlock 8, Lebby 9, Top Gun 10. Never mind, Osmond 10. I love commentating on the opening laps. That is a view from the cockpit of the driver in P2. That'll give you a view of the conditions. See, it is light rain, no need for the wet tyre. Nobody out on circuit on the wet tyre. Everybody agreeing that this is the appropriate choice. Of course, it is a sprint race, so no pit stop required. Drivers go from start to finish. If you do visit pits, well, not supposed to be there. You did something very, very wrong. Look at those three. Make it 4, make it 5. Martin, Maori, Skull, Pantry, Panda. These names, they're gonna get me. Martin, Maori, Pantry, Panda. Goodness. Suppose if Pantry crashes into Panda, then we call it Pantry Panda Saga. Brilliant. Skull makes up a position, goes up into P2. That's brave stuff. By the S's in the rain. It's brave stuff to do it in the dry. Even more impressive when you do it in the wet. He's gone and set the fastest sector 1 of the race. I wonder how much battery he's using. Not that much apparently. Battery filled up. Skull conditions coming to him. Seems to be a combination of enjoying the circuit and really enjoying these conditions. There is the Alpine driver, just picked up P2 and he's not happy with it. He wants P1. Going to be patient. Where's he going to try and do it into here? Not this time around. Of course, if that was in the dry, it would have been so easy. Would have opened up DRS and never looked back. Mauri leads. Rather, Martin leads. Told you I was going to get them messed up. Martin leads. Skull P2, then Mauri. Then we've got Pantry Star in P4. And the one and only Ferrari here tonight. Then Panda, the second Alpine. The Alpine's doing well so far. P2 and P5. They'd like this result. Of course, only the top 8 score points in the sprint race, and they are much reduced points than the feature race. The Constructors' Championship. I think it's odd to say, but the Constructors' Championship at the halfway point of the season will still pretty much be won by anybody. Look at that, Red Bull 79, Aston Martin 62, nothing in it. Then Williams right behind on 58. Then we've got a couple of teams, McLaren and Alpine on 47 each. Ferrari on 44. Everybody else not that far behind. They just need a good night and a few retirements from others than themselves. Go down to the driver in P11, Osman. He's lost a couple of places from where he started. There we go, down 3 places, down to P10. He was briefly in P11, so he did make one of those positions back. 2 Aston Martins, 9 and 10. Is there damage to that Aston Martin? No, there isn't. Everything seems to be in shape. It really just sometimes comes down to the driver. Sometimes the driver just really doesn't like the intermediate conditions. It's a sprint race. Don't think we will see any weather changes in the race. It's a really short race, but in this game I have seen many examples that track can change very, very quickly. Is it still raining? Yes, it's still very much raining. That would be interesting. Imagine a sprint race where halfway through the sprint race it suddenly dries up. A strategy call in a sprint race. Don't give F1 any ideas. They'll make a mandatory stop in a sprint race. Now out front, your new leader, Skull, started in P3 up to P1. He's made up 2 positions. He actually lost the position off the start. Went down to P4, fought for the position, took it back immediately, didn't accept P4. Then briefly just took P2 and now gets past Martin. And he'll be hoping that these conditions stay exactly the same until the checkered flag. No drying of the circuit, no forced pit stops. Let's keep things together and pick up the 8 points. That is the view from the leader. No one in front of him. No spray to be worried about. 146.7. He's also the fastest man on circuit. So a good place to be. Opened up the gap beyond 1 second, 1.1. This is Martin in P2. Mauri, the driver that started from pole position. Lost a couple of positions at the start of the race, but he's been able to maintain that P3 since then, and he's putting a lot of pressure on the Haas, looking to take P2 away from Martin, your early leader in this race. Pantry Star still holding firm in P4, but coming under pressure. Rather not coming under pressure, he's the one applying the pressure. Looks towards the inside, and if it was dry, I'm certain he would have gone for it. Pantry Star all over the back. All over the back of Maori. Not so long ago I said Maori was going to start attacking Martin. Well, now his attention has changed. His attention has changed to his mirrors, and that's Pantry Star just weaving in and out, letting the driver know he's there. To build the pressure. Of course, the old saying is that you apply the pressure until the driver in front makes a mistake, but we've seen in this league and in other leagues that sometimes it simply doesn't happen. These guys are so well rehearsed, so well practiced around any circuit, but in the rain things change. These guys don't have the same amount of lap time in the rain. Mistakes do creep in, even from the drivers you least expect it from. Continuing to open the gap. Look at that. 2.2 seconds, 2.3 seconds for the leader. That fastest lap taken away. Spike's now the quickest man out on circuit. Martin P2, Maori just behind him. Look at this. This is going to be a race for P2. Looks like P1 is decided, so long as that driver can keep the car pointing in the right direction. But as for P2 and P3, far from decided. Pantry Star hasn't been in a podium position all race, and he's looking to change that. This is the second Alpine. This is Panda. Teammate leads the race. He leads a whole trail of cars. If we were in the dry, that would be a DRS train, and you wouldn't be having much fun. Because we're in the wet, DRS does not come into play, and you just make that car as wide as you can. And defense becomes the driving art again. DRS takes out all the fun of defense. It makes it impossible after a while. Panda still leads the way in that DRS battle. Not DRS battle. Almost a DRS battle. Sort of. .2 seconds for the leader, so the gap has stabilized in the last lap. Pantry Star, full P3. He's actually broken away a little bit. Martin, second up the road from Pantry Star now. That fight for P3, fight for P2 rather, that we were talking about, well, it's seems to be simmering out. Pantry Star said he hadn't had a podium position all race. There's his podium position. He's up into P3. He wants more than P3. Chasing down Martin. 0.6 of a second is the gap between the two. Oh, how he'd love to be able to open up his rear wing. Get the tow from the horse ahead. Maybe Ferrari should just make a phone call or take a walk down to the Haas garage and remind them where they get their engines from. Hurry in P4. Bit of a bubble now. 2.1 seconds behind his nearest opponent and 2.3 seconds ahead of his next opponent. he holds things together, he should have a pretty uneventful last 3 laps of the race. It's lap 8 of 10. Everybody doing a fantastic job so far. The 1 penalty in the field, and that goes to Levy. 3-second penalty for cutting corners. Of course, you see, really, again it happens. You see less penalties in the rain because, well, the drivers aren't really using the extremities of the circuit. They're being a little bit more careful. In the dry, when you see those penalties, it's probably because the drivers are pushing and looking for every 10th of a second. When you see those penalties in the wet, well, probably mistakes. They probably didn't mean to be that far out on the circuit. Murray All Black with that 3-second penalty would lose, I think he'd lose 2 positions, so he needs to get a little bit further up the road to maintain his P4. But as for the driver at the front, doing everything he needs to do, you'll see the gap coming down ever so slightly. He needs to take his mind off the gap. Focus ahead. No one is in front. Braking point, apex, and repeat. Nothing else should be on the mind. Martin, Pantry Star gets up into P2. That was a fantastic overtake. We didn't see all of it, but it looks like he got around him on the outside, and the horse is going to come right back at him. Not quite. Closes the door. Martin goes a little off-road, and Pantry Star makes his way up into P2. The gap 1.9 seconds. Skull might have been a little bit concerned with how that gap was coming down. Briefly dropped to 1.6. But with that little scuffle for P2, reopened his gap up to a comfortable 2 seconds with just a lap and a half to go. If you're unfamiliar with the format, I think a few seasons ago, sprint race used to determine the grid for the feature race, if I'm not mistaken. That is no longer the case. Of course, after this, we head off into another one-shot quali, just like the one you saw at the beginning of the stream. That one will determine the grid for the much longer feature race. Lap 9 of 10, this is Skull. 9/10 of a second now to Pantry Star. The Ferrari getting ever closer. Wonder if he's taking a little bit more out of those mediums than he would have wanted to in the start of the race. He's getting close. Pantry Star, he's found so much pace and so much grip in the closing stages. Almost seems like a reverse scenario. Skull had all the speed and all the grip in the opening laps, and now in the closing laps, where has the Ferrari come from? He was midfield in the opening laps. Now he's challenging for the lead of the race. Rather, it's the final lap. He's challenging for the race win. Eight tenths of a second, 9/10 of a second. They come. Ooh, goes a lot of circuit there. Luckily, I think too many warnings. He had a few in his pocket still, because that would have definitely been a warning. Esther goes over a 3-second penalty, so we're going to have a few by the end of this. Esther, Warlock, Levy, all with penalties. Ferrari ever closer. Will he have enough tarmac? Does he have enough? Say kilometers, but Does he have enough kilometers between him and the finish line to make a difference? And can he apply any sort of pressure to Skull? He's been closer than this. 0.6 of a second. Skull absorbed the pressure then. He absorbs the pressure now. He's done enough to go around the final corner and take the 8 points for the sprint race. And he'll be hoping to repeat that a little later. Exceeding track limits. Mauri Allback, a 10-second penalty. That's a rather big penalty for cutting corners. Must have been a... trying to think where he could have cut a corner to pick up a 10-second penalty. Maybe in the S's? So there are your results for the sprint race. Skull taking victory and 8 points. Then Pantry Star P2 with a late surge. Martin P3, Sugar Bear P4. Then we've got Panda P5. Andre getting 3 points for the night. 6th. Then we've got Spike 7. And Lam Royale, he's going to pick up the final sprint race point in 8th place. Then Warlock P9, Osmond 10, Virus 11, Lebby 12, Top Gun 13, and Mauri Allblack all the way down in P14. Not sure what happened there at the end. Harsh Cartoon 15, SS 16, and J-Boy makes up the field. Why has it taken me so long to put those two things together? The name is Jay. The flag is Jamaican. Should have seen that ages ago. Back to blue skies, and I think the drivers will be really happy to see that. Of course, just a one-shot quali like the one we saw at the beginning of the stream, so you get one opportunity. Set your best lap. And of course, if there were any setup mistakes in that sprint race, you get an opportunity to change them now. Just waiting now for time to tick down, and we're going to be off straight away. Quite jarring. It really happens quite quickly. And for the first sector, even halfway into the second sector, it's nonsensical to even try and make sense of it. See all the names jumping up and down. That's who's ahead at this point of the race circuit. As you get later and later into the lap, you'll see those names start to flip less and less. Here in the S's, they flip up and down because a lot of the drivers have different lines. At the moment, should I say it? Don't know if he's watching, and I don't want to put pressure on his shoulders, so let's leave it for a little bit later in the lap. But at the moment, one of the two Williams. Where is the winner from the sprint race? Looking for the name of Skull. There he is, P8. Teammate down P9. Still time to improve on that lap. This lap's not over. Around the penultimate corner, and then around the final corner. Over the line. Who's going to take it? Going to be Mauri Allblack. Same driver as sprint race. Oh, he's done it again. And this time, going to want to hold on to it. there are your results. Maori All Black in pole position again, this time for the feature race. Then Sugar Bear P2, Martin P3, Levy P4, Skull race winner from the sprint race. Watch out for his start, P5. Then J-Boy 6, Spike 7, Harsh Cartoon 8, Panda 9, and Pantry Star will go from P10. Outside the top 10, Osman P11, then Virus, Andre, Top Gun, Lam Royale, Essa, and Warlock will go from the rear of the field. And after all the weirdness of one-shot quali, I actually like one-shot quali if you haven't noticed. We're back to a more normal format. Now preparing for our feature race. We've had our fun, had our sprint race. Skull pulled off quite the performance, starting in P3, getting his way up to the front and then maintaining that position, even though there was a late surge by a Ferrari, but holding it all together. Been saying we need rain. I think Skull needs rain. Get the dual green lights. Everybody gets a chance to get around the circuit. This time, let's have a look at the tires. Tires, where's the tires? There we go. Everybody doing something a little different for the most part. Drivers are on mediums, then we've got 4 drivers on the hard tire and 2 drivers on the soft. So Spikes P7 looking to have a good start on the soft tire, and Essa from P16. Hoping that soft tire will get him, well, out of P16. Of course, the sprint race, I want to call it simple. It's still difficult to win. It's still a great achievement to win, and you still get championship points for winning it. But in terms of strategy, it's simple. Don't break your car. You don't visit the pits. You start, you finish, and hopefully nothing in between. When it comes to the feature race, strategy becomes involved. The race is a lot longer, so chances of weather variations, chances of safety cars, chances of issues with your internet connection. So much can go wrong in a feature race, really because of its length. It's a sprint race, it's really the first stint of a feature race. You know, in the comment section if anybody knows of possible rain. Sky does look a little grey. No confirmation in the comment section. I think somebody would have said something if rain was coming. Wouldn't that be fantastic? A weather interchangeable race. Start in the dry, change to inters, end in the dry. That would be great. With a bunch of safety cars, we could be here all night. 5 red lights, and when they go off, we will be underway. Get rid of the ugly box on the right, and there we go. Maori All Black, this time with a better start than in the sprint race, but he's got 2 cars up his inside. He holds position, closes the door. Such a difficult thing to do here in COTA. Just 4 drivers in the history of the US Grand Prix have been able to maintain P1 from pole position. Max Verstappen was the 4th just last week. Maori leads the way. Then we got Sugar Bear right on his tail. Driver we didn't speak about too much in the sprint race, but in the dry, he's looking very, very different. Martin in P3, and as I say that, Spikes briefly takes P3, but he can't get the car stopped, so back into P4. Of course, we're going to see DRS this time around. It is dry conditions. This back straight here in COTA, it's DRS prime. Spikes in P4. We saw him briefly in P3 for the shortest amount of time. Then he lost the position because he just couldn't get the car stopped. He's on that soft tire, and that's what's giving him all the extra bite, all the extra grip at the start of the race. While Martin's still trying to come to terms with those mediums, trying to get them up to temperature, trying to understand them in the early stages of the race. Spike's got that softer tire, the tire everyone used in qualifying. And for the first couple of laps, he's going to have a grip advantage. Unfortunately for him, that grip advantage is going to disappear. And commentators curse on the spot. That was live on cam. Spikes loses his way on the exit of turn 1, on his way into the S's. Kicking himself on that one. Probably done that sector of the circuit 1,000 times, and that's probably only happened once. Happened to me before, where I'll go out and practice the track, and I'll qualify and I'll do the race, and just somewhere in the race I'll go into a particular corner and spin, and I have never spun in that corner before. It just leaves you questioning everything. Maori leads the way, 9/10 of a second down to Sugar Bear, and the main objective for him, short-term objective, break DRS. Long-term objective, create a huge gap. Not quite a full field we've got quite used to on Tuesday night, just the 17 drivers. We're missing a Ferrari. Not sure who else we're missing. We're missing a Sauber. We're missing a Ferrari. I'm not sure who else we're missing. I'll figure it out. I think we're missing a McLaren. And this is J-Boy up in P4. I'm at the rear of the field in those sprint results, having a much better feature race. And you got guess who? Harsh Cartoon in P5, doing a fantastic job in this first stint of the race. He's on a set of medium tires. It's behind him, Pantry Star, playing a different game. Started on the hard compound. We got Panda P7, Virus P8, Osmond P9, Warlock 10. SFP 11, Top Gun 12. Then we have the Death Square pairing of Andre and Skull down in 13 and 14. I'm not sure what happened to Skull. He started in P5. The race went backwards for him. He's praying for the rain. Fortunately, I see a few spots of blue sky. The weather could be going in the opposite direction. We didn't see it, but Martin has had damage. Surely. Was he collected in that incident with Spikes? Did we not see that? Because he's come into the pits, he's got a brand new set of hard tires. 0 laps. Same as Spikes. Hard tires, 0 laps. And they were pretty close on circuit at the time, so I wonder if one incident related to another. And we have a caution in Sector 3, and our first retirement of the night. with an Alpine in the pits. So much can happen in a feature race. Disappointing when you see a driver go into the pits and call it a day. Especially on lap 4 of 28, so much can happen. The rain could return. Safety cars could shuffle this field more than once. The record on this channel is 5 safety cars and 3 virtuals. Get a race like that, being at the back means absolutely nothing until the final lap. Not so long ago, I saw a driver finish on the podium, finished in P3. And that driver at one stage in the race was right at the back. And when I mean right at the back, he was last and 20 seconds behind his next opponent. The safety car changed all that. Then a second safety car shuffled him up the field. And then at the end, he was one of the only drivers without penalties. And that lifted him up into a podium position. So anything can happen in one of these races, even when things are looking bad. That's why you should never park the car up while there's still opportunity. J-Boy having a good race so far, P3. Already got our first penalty of the race. It's very early days for penalties, but Lebby has picked up a penalty. Briefly lost his position to Osh Cartoon and then takes it back. Osh Cartoon on fire in the Red Bull, challenging the RB, saying, hey, remember, I'm still in the senior team here. Skull running into tech issues. That's why he called it a night. Tech issues can be so frustrating. You've done the practice, you've done the preparation. You've got excited for the build-up. Just coming off the excitement of winning the sprint race. And then something silly. Something that should just work, doesn't. Or he could be lying and that was a Lance Stroll temper moment. Part of the song. Conspiracy theory was the Alpine really broken. This Pantry Star. Keep your eyes on Pantry Star because he seems to really enjoy this circuit. He had a late surge of speed in the closing stages of the sprint race that took him up to P2. I think he was in P5 at a stage. And then in the closing laps, position after position up to P2 and actually got awfully close to the leader. I think another lap or two and Skull would have been in trouble. And now in the race, the feature race, he's in P4. And on a very different strategy to those around him. 3 cars ahead of him, all on the medium. Car behind him also on the medium. Pantry Star, on the other hand, is on the hard tyre. He's doing the difficult work first. That's what I call it. Because that's when the car is at its absolute worst. Car is heavy at the start of the race. Choose the tyre that is the most difficult to light up. That is the car at its worst. Later on in the race, car's just going to get easier to drive. It's going to get a lot more nippy as you drop the fuel. And when he does come into the pits, then it's his turn to have the softer compound, the extra grip, and the benefit of a lighter car. Andrew Starr still in P4, 0.6 of a second away from the Sauber. This Sauber of J-Boy. That's the view looking back at the Ferrari. Let's have a look here on the back straight, how close he gets with the use of DRS. This is not the back straight. See how close he gets into turn 1. Major overtaking opportunity on this circuit, and after the long straight at the back, but he's not going to be close enough into turn 1 unless he does something insane, and he does not do something insane. Holds his cool. He knows he's on the soft tire. He's playing the longer game. If he can't take this position immediately, well, all he has to do is wait a little longer, and those mediums will fall off, and everybody ahead of him is on a set of mediums. One concern for Pantry Star is that 2 drivers ahead of J-Boy are in a different world right now. Maori and Sugar Bear 10 seconds ahead of the rest of the field. Pantry Star wants to get past the Sauber. He can try and close that gap. I think he's about to do it. Opens up DRS, probably using battery as well. Ensures he gets the overtake, ensures he gets it slowed down. Takes P3 for now. J-Boy will definitely try and take that back. Why I say keep your eyes on Pantry Star. He's able to do this on a set of hard tires. He should be having the disadvantage at this stage of the race. He's up in P3, just needs to close that gap to the leaders, and they're doing that already. That was 9, now 7.4. And I wonder if that was Sugar Bear and Maori having a little bit of contact. Because that was a 9-second gap that suddenly dropped to a 7-second gap, and these two were so close together they're now separated by 2 seconds. I think there may have been contact between the leaders when we weren't looking. J-Boy now picks up a 3-second time penalty. It's lap 9. That a ghosting car. That is a ghosting car. Maori All Black. That'll explain why he's falling off the lead. Thought there may have been contact between the 2 drivers. That is not the case. I think Maori All Black has been kicked from the car. Hopefully he's able to find his way back into the lobby, because that car will continue to fall back. It's now being driven by AI, which is, well, much slower than Maori All Black. If it was me, well, I'd probably pause the game to go faster. Pretty sure the AI outpaces me. Maybe I'll be fast after the regulation change. It's going to be interesting to see how these cars feel on next year's game. Of course, very, very different cars for next year. Not too much change in the way of dimensions. Pretty much the same size, a little bit smaller. But the aerodynamics, completely different beast. I will try to send Maori All Black an invite. I'll just mute for a second. There we go, sent him an invite. Hopefully he can get back into the lobby and back into that car. Lost so much ground on the leader. Those two cars were together. He's now 7.7 seconds adrift and about to lose P2 to Pantry Star. To grab that invite, get back in here. Lost a few seconds, but you haven't lost position just yet. Pantry Star 3, this is Panda in P4. Somebody diving into the pits there behind him. I think that was J-Boy. 9 laps on the medium and calling it a day. I wonder if that was damage, if he's had enough of that tyre. Your leader, smiling all the way. 8.1 second gap. Closest challenger. From the car briefly. There we go. He's back in the lobby. That car's no longer ghosting, so that's good news for the race. Never want to see any of the drivers forced out of the race by silly internet. It can happen to anyone. It happens to me on the stream. Sometimes these things freeze and buffer and give me a hard time. Other times they work perfectly. That's what happens in the game sometimes. And with a perfect internet connection, it could even just be the game being dumb. It's quite common. Maori 7.7 seconds back, now back in the car and looking to recover some of that time. Again. He's come back to a car. It has a scarlet red Ferrari in its mirrors. He was challenging for the lead. Now he's fighting to hold on to his P2. Well, he wasn't out the lobby for long. So much time lost under the AI car. Everybody should send drivers multiple invites before the start of the race. In the event of a disconnect, you should have 2 or 3 there in the queue. That's something to try for the drivers and get more than 1 invite. Preferably as many as possible if you're having a rough day. Panda in P4, and where has this driver come from? That's what I thought. Warlock, P5, 12 positions. 12 positions since the start of the race. That is a crazy number. I was thinking, wait, didn't he start at the rear of the field? Yes, he did start at the rear of the field. And he's up to P5. That's how a race can change. Things can look absolutely horrible after qualifying. You think, right, I'm not going to be able to come through this field. What's even the point? And 13 laps into the race, you're in P5. And everything looks very different. He comes into the pits now to get rid of those mediums. Mediums becoming less and less on the circuit. With these drivers coming in for hards. The other drivers still on their hards, doing their first stint. This will be the first half of the pit window. When those hard runners come in, it'll be your second stint of the pit window. And this lineup will make a little bit more sense at the end of that second pit window. Now all the pit stops They've ensured that the Ferrari of Pantry Star goes into the lead of the race. He's got a 2.4 second gap to the driver I'm going to confuse him with, Panda. You look at that. Mercedes in P3, that's Andre. Being promoted to that position through all the pit stops. He still needs to make a pit stop of his own. But before he can worry about the pit stop, had to defend from Sugar Bear, and Sugar Bear was having nothing of it. Got a brand new set of hard tyres. He refused to spend time behind a driver with all tyres. Won't waste his time doing that. Gets back up into P3 and he'll be happy to see 7.6 seconds of clean air ahead of him. And only hard runners ahead of him. That means Sugar Bear is provisionally the leader of this race. If you're enjoying the race, if you're enjoying the commentary, the action, remember to leave a like on the video. If you haven't subscribed, why the heck not? For some reason, the race on Sunday, SKR, the video was struck down by YouTube. Struck down by F1. Had to cut a 5-second clip out of the race for some reason. No idea what it had to do with anything. If you do go back and watch SKR, there's going to be a sector somewhere of the race that's just not there. It's been trimmed out, and the video is back in the NFR archive. Two RBs, 5 and 6. Very different strategies. Maori 1 lap on the hard, Lebby 7 laps on the hard. That suggests Lebby made an early pit stop for damage, because he's out of sync with everybody else. Out of sync with the norm, rather. This is J-Boy, driver who's making his way through the field. We saw there from Sugar Bear was so important. He was just behind Andre on the older set of hards, and he knew he couldn't waste his time. Got past, did it quickly, did it within his first 2 or 3 opportunities, didn't waste any time, and now J-Boy needs to do exactly the same thing. He's in P7, he's got a fresh set of hard tyres. The driver ahead of him got aging hards. He wants to clear that Red Bull. They can utilize the grip of those new tyres to their full extent. Further down the order, Osman in P12. One of the 2 Aston Martins. The Aston Martin's not having a fantastic day here today. One in P12 out the points, the other down at the bottom of the field. That's Lam Royale in P16, and I'm surprised to see that. That explains it. Lam Royale, let's give the invite thing another go. And will you look at that? Now my friends list won't show up. No, there we go. Who am I looking for? Lam Royale. Do we have Lam Royale? I don't think we have him. Have a look again. Nope. I don't think we have Lam Royale. If you saw him on screen and I didn't, let me know. But unfortunately, I don't think we have this driver on the friends list. Reminder to all the drivers, if you're listening, invite the commentator as a friend so that I can help you out. If you have a disconnection, very disappointing to see Lam Royale in P16. We know that is a quick driver and a driver that can be at the front. on any given day. Pantry Star still leading the race, but he has not made a pit stop. How he'd love for a safety car to come out now and give him a free pit stop. Osman picks up a 3-second penalty. Lots of penalties popping up on the screen now. We have gone past halfway distance. Brief summary of those penalties. We have 3-second penalties for Osman in P11, Top Gun P13 and Essa in P15. And then some more serious penalties higher up the field. 6 seconds apiece for Lebby, J-Boy and Warlock. In positions 6, 7 and 9. Or from 6, 7 and 9, Pantry Star, he was leading the race. Not going to be leading it for much longer because he's come into the pits. He's going to sit stationary for a time that feels like forever, even though it's 2 seconds. Gets back on his way. Panda into the lead of the race. Sugar Bear into P2. Maori 3. Andre 4. Where does Pantry Star come out? Did I almost call him Andre? Pretty sure I almost called him Pondry Star. Pondry Star? Really? I'm having a great day. Too much Texas, I tell you. Too much Texas. I drove on Friday night, Miami, commentated Texas on Sunday, and some more Texas tonight. There's Andre in P4. Let's bring up that tire screen. I forgot and I left it on the penalty screen. This is a much more important screen, especially at this time of the race. Andre P4, but you can see he has not made a pit stop. Same situation for the driver in P2. Panda, no pit stop. When they do come in, they're going to lose about 20 seconds of race time. Will obviously drop them down the field, but this could be a race where staying out of that penalties column is so crucial. It's the one retirement so far that was Skull with technical issues at the start of the race, early on in the race. See him dropping back from P5, something definitely not right with his equipment. So far everybody else has pretty much had a clean race. Sugar Bear at the front, Maori in P2, the two leaders restored to their positions. Pantry Star P3, he was leading the race and he's not too far behind if you look at it. 5.7 seconds behind Maori on a set of mediums. And this is why I say you do the hard work first. Heavy car, terrible tires. Later on in the race, better tires, lighter car. And it only gets lighter with every lap you do. Of course, that is easier said than done. If you're not a particularly quick driver like myself, then you really don't want to start on the hard tire. By the time you get off that hard tire, you're going to be a minute back. People think I exaggerate how bad my driving is, but there's a reason there isn't even one race on this entire channel from a selection of 200 that involves me in it. So picks up a penalty. We've got a caution in sector 3. Could be somebody retiring in the pits. Not sure what happened there. Don't see anything in sector 3, but there is a caution there. Seems like there's It's not a stationary dot. Somebody is moving, so I'm not sure who retired, but it is. It's Essa. Blue stationary dot in the pits. That is Essa. That is the end of the race for the Williams driver, leaving only one Williams remaining, and that's the one in the lead. He's picked up 25 points for himself and for his team. A little bit like a Max Verstappen situation. I believe Max has picked up 26 of Red Bull's last podiums. That's insane. Not race wins, podiums. Red Bull's last 26 podiums. Only with Max on the podium. Who was the last Red Bull podium sitter? Definitely wasn't Tsunoda. It definitely wasn't Lawson. I think the last Verstappen teammate to finish on the podium was Perez. I'm going to have to look that up later. It's going to bug me, but I'm pretty sure it was Perez. Andre, a 1 minute 35, fastest driver on the circuit with those new tyres. Car coming alive. He's in P11, but unfortunately nobody in front of him to attack. 1.5 seconds is the gap between him and Osman. Love to get that car up into the points. Guntu saying 100% race, and Death Queen would do the commentary, and I would do what? I'd sit here quietly. I'll sit here quietly, and Death Queen can do the commentary through the Discord onto the YouTube channel, and I'll just sit here and listen to the commentary. But you're expecting me to drive with these guys? It's not happening. I race in a league on Friday night that it's a little bit more spread out. Have some very, very quick drivers, otherwise known as aliens, but as slow as I am, there are 2 or 3 drivers I can keep up with. But if I were to come to a league like this, I don't know how much I'd enjoy it. I don't know how much everyone else would enjoy it, because everybody would have to become quite accustomed to lapping cars. You have no idea how difficult it is for me to sit and watch a race and not say anything. If Death Queen had to take the comms box and I had to sit here quietly, well, the only way I'd do it is to unplug my mic until the end of the race. That way I could commentate and no one would hear me. Sitting in silence? Doubt that's going to happen. In fact, the only time I'm quiet during a motor race is when I'm watching the real thing. Then it's concentration. You break that concentration, you're going to make me mad. At 21 of 28. Looking through some F1 stats the other day, the highest amount of cars starting a race was 36. That was a long time ago when F1 was a little different, in 1954. 56 cars. Can you imagine that in qualifying today? Imagine that in Monte Carlo. They did Monte Carlo back then. "36 cars trying to do qualifying in Monte Carlo. And most of them back then didn't have helmets. Simply a leather cap and some goggles. And if anything went wrong, well, your car was essentially a coffin. Martin now has left the session. Where is Martin? Martin was in P14, so we can't invite him. He's got a DNF next to his name. Called a day on the race. One of the two Haas have fallen, the other one not in the points. Not the evening Haas would have wanted. Let's have a look at the Constructors' Championship, if I can find it. There we go. Constructors' Championship, Red Bull leads the way, 79 points. Where are the Red Bulls? One is in P9, the other one is in P12, so just 2 points coming the way of Red Bull this evening. That's your championship leader. Then Aston Martin 62, Williams 58, McLaren, Alpine, Ferrari, Racing Bulls, all of those teams still so close together. One race can flip this Constructors' Championship on its head. Team that was at the back can be very much in contention with just one good result. I think so far as a team, the team that's having the best performance are the RBs. Got both their cars in the top 10. Both their cars, I was going to say in the top 5, but actually the top 6. One RB in P6, the other one in P2. Not quite challenging for the race. That gap has remained the same since the end of the pit window. It was just over 4 seconds at the end of the pit window. It's now just over 5. Still 5 laps to go. Could come down to how you've used your tires. Used them earlier. Might have troubles later on. Taken care of them early on. Then you could sail at the end. Wanky's in the comment section. I almost said he was in the pits. What's wrong with me tonight? Wanky's in the comment section saying he's not here because of, well, electricity. That's never fun. Krach. That's electricity, right? Krach. And if you read it in English, it sounds ridiculous. Craig. Craig. The Afrikaans came up with, no, it's not pronounced Craig. It's pronounced Krach. Krach. Like that end. You'll be surprised to know that, say, about 80% of the Afrikaans I can speak, I learnt in the USA. It became quite fun to learn a language no one in the States really understood. And being my childish self, I got to swear at people all day. Bombs in Afrikaans, not happening. Not happening. I don't have enough words in the vocab. I've just paused for a second there because I'm trying to think, what would I say going into turn 1, and I have no idea. So that's not going to happen. That's about as likely as me commentating in COTA. No. That would be so bad. So bad. long to go now. Lap 25 of 28. Soon we will be in the safe zone. No more safety cars can happen. We do have a caution in sector 2, but it's isolated to sector 2. So there we go. It disappears. More worries for now. Sugar Bear P1, Maori All Black P2. He has managed to close the gap back down a little bit. 4.8 seconds. We're hoping Sugar Bear has burnt up those tires so he can have a late surge. Pantry Star was the man with late surge in the sprint race. Finished P2. Currently in P3. This will be a good evening for him tonight. He can finish on the podium both times around. It's the sort of consistency you want to see in the championship. Collecting points every single time they are on offer. Once we get to this point in the race, then those cautions don't scare me as much as they used to. Of course, every time you see a caution, you think it's a retire, you think a safety car might happen. At this point in the race, cars will simply flicker off the screen. No safety car happening. J-Boy comes the latest DNF. Adds to a list of 4. Of course, we don't have confirmation on what happened with J-Boy or Essa. We have confirmation that Skull had technical issues right at the start of the race. We can confirm that Martin's car was ghosting. So 2 of those 4 cars, technical issues. The other 2, we're not quite sure. 26 of 28, leader 4.2 seconds from Maori, then a large gap down to P3, 5.5 seconds, an even bigger gap down to P4, 14.9 down to Panda, 2 seconds to Warlock, 2.5 to Levy, 1.2 to Virus. No real DRS battles to speak of. This is the one, the only one DRS battle, and it's a side-by-side. Osman P9 versus Harsh Cartoon in P10, and they're fighting over that P9 like they're fighting for the championship on the final lap of the race. Isn't only about the guys at the front having fun. I assure you, each and every single battle, regardless of where it is on the race circuit, what position, every attacking driver is trying to make an overtake, regardless of if it's for P1, P10, or to get himself out of last place. Second penalty goes the way of Spikes. That's not going to help him very much. Already at the back of the field, came in, put on a set of soft tyres, hoping to get a few good laps at the end. Instead, he's added time to his penalty column. Penalties, a few harsh ones actually. I was going to say not too bad, but we got a 3-second penalty for Top Gun and Spikes, and a 6-second penalty is going to go the way of Osman. A 9-second penalty going the way of Warlock and Levy. Well, Levy has quietly stacked them up. I don't know why I haven't seen most of those notifications. But Levy up to 12 seconds of penalty. That is a race breaker. Those things could have been much worse. If we had a late safety car and drivers had those sort of penalties, they'd find themselves at the rear of the field. Fortunately, it's been a clean race. I've had 4 retirements, but no safety cars. All of those were quiet retirements in the pits. Lap 28 of 28 has begun for the guys at the front, for the guys at the back. Final lap is only beginning. 3.6 seconds. I wonder if this is Maori at the end finding the speed, or if this is Sugar Bear just lifting a little on his morals. Happens when you get to the final lap with a huge lead. Start to consolidate. Okay, it's almost there. Don't do anything silly. And the moment your concentration changes for any reason, see that gap start to drop. Fortunately for him, not long to go. Take a serious misjudgment for him to lose this race. Was the long right-hander I was talking about in qualifying to mimic Turkey. Then the final corner. Call it Kyle Army corner if you want. Sugar Bear around the final corner, over the line, takes the victory. Maori not far behind, got close actually, 2.9 seconds at the end. Got to wait a little bit longer for the Ferrari, but there he is. Drivers just coming over the line one by one. Where's all my stuff gone? There we go. Warlock is going to come over the line in P4. He'll be happy with that, but he's got lots and lots of penalties, so he will fall further down. Then Leby. Those 12 seconds, they're going to break him. Look at that. All the way down to P10 for Leby. From what could have been a P6. It's actually been a good night for the Mercedes team. We haven't spoken too much about Mercedes, but 5 and 6 for the teammates, finishing the race just 2 seconds apart. Good race there for Andre, but even better race for your top 3: Sugar Bear, All Black, and Pantry. Two different winners on the night. Skull took the sprint race victory. Didn't have any luck in the feature race. Had to call it a day early on. And then in the feature race, it's been a very different story. Race winner Sugar Bear. Spikes takes the fastest lap. And then Andre takes the rest. Andre, driver of the day. Andre, most overtakes. Andre, cleanest driver. Well done. That deserves points. Let's see if we can just get the... That's not what I want. There we go. The results for the feature race. Sugar Bear takes the victory. Maori P2, Pantry P3. That's your podium. Then Panda in P4. Virus P5. Andre P6. Warlock 7. Harsh Cartoon picks up points in P8. Osman P9. And Leby. Leby will take the final point. P11 goes to Top Gun, no points on the night. Then Spikes P12, Lamb Royale 13, and then our retirements: J-Boy, Martin, Essa, and Skull. And there we go, folks. That's the end of that. The US Grand Prix. In all, let's have a look at the calendar. Of course, next week when SAFRL returns, very different race circuit. We return to Jeddah for round 6. Then round 7 is going to be something a little different. It's going to be a mystery reverse circuit. So the 3 reverse circuits will be available: Netherlands reverse, Britain reverse, Austria reverse. It'll be a mystery circuit, and it'll be announced obviously just before the race. I'm not sure if that is going to be done on this channel, but I'll let you know when I know. Then of course, next time we see you on the channel, that's going to be for Redline Racing. No race last week, but it will be returning this week. See if I can find the calendar for Redline Racing so I can tell you where we will be. Do I have the... Here we go. Right, where are we going? It's going to be October 23rd, round 4, so we'll be going to Australia, Albert Park for Redline Racing, and that'll be on Thursday night. So I hope to see you on Thursday night at 8 o'clock for Redline Racing. If I don't see you, Sunday night at 6 or Tuesday night at 8. Thank you all for watching. If you haven't left a like on the video, please do. It helps us out. And I'll see you next time. Enjoy. Cheers.
where your dreams collide. They'll tell you to stop, say the road's too long, but your heart keeps beating to a rebel song. Take a step, don't look below. Every scar's a story, only you will know. The weight of the world can't break your stride. You're carving your name where the stars reside. When the shadows call, when the nights grow cold, you'll find the strength in the tales untold. You can rise to the sky, touch the edge of the flame, write your heart in the light, let the world know your name. No chains can hold you, no storms too wide. You're a legend in the making when you rise to the sky. The ground may shake, but your roots run deep. Every fall you take is a promise you keep. The doubters will fade, their voices will break, 'cause your soul's on fire and it's yours to take. Run through the rain, chase the endless fight. Every dream you claim lights a spark in the night. The horizon's calling, it's yours to claim. A warrior's heart with a fearless flame. When the shadows call, when the nights grow cold, you'll find the strength in the tales untold. You can rise to the sky, touch the edge of the flame, write your heart in the light, let the world know your name. No chains can hold you, no storms too wide. You're a legend in the making when you rise to the sky. Stand tall when the thunder roars, break the locks, kick down the doors. Every step is a battle won, your story's just begun. Oh, let it soar, forevermore, forevermore. You can rise to the sky, touch the edge of the flame, write your heart in the light, let the world know your name. No chains can hold you, no storms too wide. You're a legend in the making when you rise to the sky. So keep on climbing, don't ever slow. The stars are waiting where the brave ones go. You'll rise to the sky. Yeah, you'll rise to the sky. A legend in the making till the end of time.